Testing. Okay, so today is July 21st, 2014. So I wanted to get on here and talk about a book I read called Boundaries in Dating. Okay? And I think that before we get into that, well, first off, let me just go ahead and say that I got like a sinus thing, I don't know, like allergies or something. Jesus. It's been annoying me today. But, okay, so you take a look at, good news report is I'm 50% done. 50% done with my meditation goal. And it's been one of the biggest blessings and one of the hardest things to see, but I think I really got to meet and really getting to know my inner strength on a consistent basis. And what I mean by that is, I meet my inner strength when I'm training. Training, you really get to meet your inner strength, and that's why training is a beautiful thing, because it can allow you to meet that part of yourself that is focused and about the moment and living in the moment, which is so essential to actually maximizing your life. Okay, so for example, I have to meet with someone in 20 minutes. But we want to take the most out of our life and maximize and really get involved with the day, the fabric of the day, and that takes living in the moment. Okay, so I wanted to get into some stuff as Boundaries in Dating is a book I read back in 2013, and let me go ahead and get it from my iPad so we can basically discuss that a little bit. Okay, I only have 5% left on my iPad, so that's freaking great. I've been reading, so that's why it's low. Let me see if I have it still. Beyond Boundaries. Where is it? Geez, not today. There it is. It's got to download again, I think. Let me see. 3, 2, 1. So that book is downloaded. That literally took 5 seconds. Okay, look, check this out. So the book Boundaries, it's by the authors. The authors are Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. And I actually recommended this book to Orlando, one of my friends, and I've recommended it to so many people because I see a lot of my friends struggling with some of the same stuff that I struggled with, and you probably are going to struggle with this too. So the key thing this book does is helps establish healthy boundaries. Okay, and when you want to have a mature relationship, you're going to want to establish healthy boundaries. Now, the reason I'm taking the time on this Monday is to share something that really made an impact and open up my mind as to what actually dating should be and what it shouldn't be. Okay, and by having these healthy guidelines, you're more than likely going to have a better chance at having a successful relationship. Okay, so this like I highlighted this, believe it or not, like it's highlighted. It says, if you are giving the person crazy. It basically went into how I'm gonna have to do this. This is crazy. Okay. Well, anyways, I'll just tell you by memory. Well, so it goes into like 5 steps or like 4 categories. You say when it says, let's say you have friends, so you have Tony, Albert, Joey, Alberto, whatever. It doesn't matter. So you have your friends, and so let's say you have 20 friends, It goes into saying, well, be careful before you make them choose to date one of those people, because you may ruin that friendship, or et cetera, et cetera. And it says if you date them, make sure not to get too close with them on a fully intimate level, because then in a way you're going to get pretty attached to them, et cetera, and then it's more difficult to maybe say, you don't want to be in that relationship anymore. You're now going to have a pretty hard time sort of breaking away from it, because you sort of shared your body and your intimacy, and the intimacy went too high. So it goes into like friends, dating, committed relationships, and marriage. And it said, like, the book goes into boundaries, like it says, like, for example, don't put up with any kind of lying. It says there's two types of liars. There's like the kind that are scared, maybe they lied to you for, they were scared of your reaction, like, I didn't tell you that I didn't get the tickets because I thought you'd be disappointed, There's that kind of lie, and then there's a kind of lie that's pretty manipulative, and that person's just sort of self-seeking. So, and it says, like, if you get that type of person, definitely run. So it goes into stuff like that. I'll read you next where it says, grounding in spiritual values that make life work. Our spiritual values and our relationship with God ground us and make life work. He designed things that way. Our values are the architecture of life. They shape the way our life is going to be. And we value things like honesty, purity, compassion, sobriety, kindness, responsibility, and on and on. Life will take on a certain shape that has a good end. However, when we begin to let our values slip, like life takes a different direction that does not have a good end. When Debbie began sleeping with Nick, she had lost a value that was very important to her, and which also protected her from losing her other aspects of herself. The pseudo-intimacy that they were having in sex was blinding her from seeing the lack of real intimacy in the relationship. That is one way that purity protects single people. When she began to adapt to his perfectionist physical demands on her looks and appearance, she lost touch with her honesty and value for her kindness. What he was doing was not kind, and she should have honestly told him that she valued kindness in a relationship. His criticizing her physical appearance was, when she was perfectly normal, was not a loving thing to do. We do not think that people should lie to each other. If she had a real problem, there would be nothing wrong with his telling her, or their talking about it, how it made him feel. But this was pure perfectionistic narcissism on his part. She should have kept her value of honesty and told him so. So it goes into pseudo-intimacy. What is pseudo-intimacy? Like intimacy that's pretty much primarily physical and prevents you from seeing the lack of other connections, like support, kindness, real peace, harmony, these kind of values that sort of maybe might be masked by what's called pseudo-intimacy. The book is really good. I don't want to get into it too much. I just wanted to touch base on it. I gave you the authors, and I could write. Okay, check this out. Loneliness is stronger than resolve, willpower, or discipline. People will promise themselves not to get too involved and find that their promise melts when their relational hunger meets a person they desire. All of a sudden, they are spending every evening together and settling into a pattern of being a couple. Loneliness is not the enemy here, however. When we are lonely, it is a signal that we are alive. God created us with a drive to connect and be attached to himself and others. It is a good thing, because loneliness ultimately leads to relationship, and that is where God wants all of us. We are all members of one body. Okay, Ephesians 4:25. However, dating is not the kind of relationship that cures loneliness, and that is the real problem here. Relationships that resolve loneliness must have certain elements, such as safety, unconditional love, and deep commitment. These elements help a person take in the love they need, get connected, and stay in a relationship. Dating does not have those elements, at least at first. It is exploratory and low commitment in nature. So lonely people often get deeply and quickly connected to someone. Then when conflicts arise, they are devastated because they invested such deep parts of their hearts and souls in the relationship. If you are getting too close too soon out of loneliness, use it as a signal to get connected with some good, solid, non-dating relationships. Deal with loneliness before it backfires on you. So, while you may say, well, Jacob, you're a trainer, what does that have to do with anything? Myself, I could vouch for the validity in this. Sometimes, in the sense of having fun, or not being too bored on Friday night, or whatever you may try to date in as a cure for loneliness, but you may in a way get attached to the wrong person. And so the book goes into that, setting boundaries such as that, like no intimacy before a serious committed relationship. So it goes into dating, and then once you're dating low committed several people, then say, okay, well, of all these, let's say you were dating 5 people or 3 people or 10 or 20, whatever, 50 people, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's pretty ridiculous, right? 50 is pretty high. But but it goes into saying you don't get physical or intimate with these 10 or 5 people or 3 people. You don't get intimate with those people because now you're going to sort of latch on to whoever you're intimate with, and it's a pseudo intimacy that isn't really going to allow you to sort of see past the physical, and the pseudo intimacy that will wear off eventually and then kind of still leave you lonely. And so this is some profound stuff that I myself had to research, and now as an adult, really sort of to come to grips with. And I'm telling you this because I'm sharing this out here because I think it's very valuable that our society sort of picks this up. A lot of times it's like people do date and it becomes so serious so quickly. And I think it takes an experienced person or someone that's read a book like this to sort of see both points and say, okay, not about that, not about that attachment. So because then you're going to sort of sink so much energy into that and sort of lose a part of yourself. And that's really dangerous, and actually will connect and make you feel more lonely. So definitely goes into developing a relationship with yourself, relationship with God, and in that you can now start maybe attracting a better person, better quality people, date those people, and then see what works better for you on a more long-term basis. Okay, so I really hope this helps. I'm at 50% done. I'm actually going to put a check on that box, so it feels really good. I set a date on June 24th, and it actually ends tomorrow. But I've surpassed my goal of meditation. Praise God, and I feel really good about it. I wanted to share this because, so I'm gonna put a check mark on that. So I wanted to share this because I have so many friends dealing with relationship issues. Like I won't tell you how many, but it's below 20, but headed in that direction. And so with so many people, I know that's just me. I know that, and there's another book called Boundaries in Marriage if you are married, but the main reason I wanted to share this information is because it's such a high value to myself. I know that it could be such a high value to you, and maybe if you share the book with somebody, or please give this book. It's $8 on Kindle, so it's extremely affordable. And I even bought the next one, which is called Beyond Boundaries. And so it can kind of help clear up a lot of probably issues that you've been feeling: relationship with yourself, relationship with God, boundaries like no lying. Maybe you're not going to tolerate negativity. You put those boundaries there. And someone breaks those boundaries, they're clearly showing they're not really valuing of something that you value, and that's a big indicator that you may want to take a step back. Okay, and so I wanted to, as a trainer, and a mentor, one of my main goals in my life, and also a dream developer, is helping people maximize their productivity and the quality of life. A relationship is such a big part and quality of your life that this area is so important to me and so important to us. And really talking about love songs and poetry and Valentine's Day, the word, marriage, there's such a huge aspect that I think if we ignore it and pretend it doesn't affect the other areas of our life, we're sort of playing ignorant. So I wanted to address it. Hope that helps you. Have a great and blessed day. Today's Monday, the 21st of July. 50% done with meditation. If you have any questions on meditation, just let me know. Call me, text me. And if you have any questions on mentoring or things like that, maybe getting into these subjects of how to maximize yourself to break records and get into dream development for your life, call me as well. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.